I frequently get this question. I've had my gallbladder removed. Can I follow the wheat belly lifestyle because it's a high-fat lifestyle? Or for that matter, a keto or paleo or Atkins or other low-carb lifestyle tend to be higher in fat. Well, yes, you can. But if you have an apparent intolerance to fat, it's likely not for lack of a gallbladder. Let me explain. So when you have your gallbladder removed, your liver is still producing plenty of bile, the same quantity of bile. It's just not being saved up in this little repository called the gallbladder to spit out all at once. Instead, your liver is still producing plenty of bile, and it's going out directly into the duodenum without having to be stored in the gallbladder. So there might be potential to have a little bit of fat intolerance if you eat a lot of fat all at once, but that typically does not happen. What happens, if you look at all the evidence, is that people who've had their gallbladder removed also have SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. The situation required to create gallstones requires decades of unhealthy eating and unhealthy bowel flora and other changes, inflammatory changes, etc., in the gastrointestinal tract. So the gallbladder is taken out. All those other problems are not fixed. They may even be worsened because maybe you got antibiotics during your gallbladder surgery, which is very common. So people with their gallbladder removed mark themselves as having a lot of issues with their gastrointestinal tract. When they try to increase the fat, they're often intolerant, and they see phenomena such as fat staining of the toilet, or fat droplets, or just gastrointestinal distress or diarrhea from the fat. But before you start taking things like bile acid supplements or pancreatic enzymes, first think about SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And you'll find that more often than not, your real problem is SIBO. And if you don't address the SIBO, you leave yourself open, not just in continued fat malabsorption, but to other problems like fibromyalgia, irritable bowel syndromes, inflammatory bowel disease, inflammation elsewhere in the body, even colon cancer and other conditions. So it's very important that if you suspect you have SIBO, to address the SIBO. Now, that's a whole conversation of its own. We do that in the Undoctored programs, particularly the Undoctored Inner Circle. I also invite you to subscribe to my channel because I provide lots of conversations on SIBO. There are other videos about SIBO and related conditions like small intestinal fungal overgrowth that you can address, by the way, on your own, because most doctors really don't know what these things are all about, even though the evidence is quite clear, so that I give you information to take control of these conditions on your own and manage them.